Do you ever think Pokemon is too easy? Yeah, I know it's a children's game, but let's spice it up a little. This is Pokémon White 2, but I made it so much harder. A randomised hardcore Nuzlocke, except I added one rule that changes everything. Every battle is a double battle.
Prepare for trouble!
Make it double!
Yeah, every single one. That means every turn isn't just what move do I click, it's tens of thousands of possible outcomes. One wrong read, one bad combo and the entire run can collapse instantly. Encounters are random, strategies are limited, and mistakes, they are permanent. So the question is, can I actually beat Pokemon White 2 like this, or did I just create an impossible challenge? Let's find out. Unova is such a peak region. Black and White and both the sequels being straight 10s is something we can only dream about nowadays. Thankfully, the starter choice leads us into the game nice and smoothly. Basculin is mid. Nidorino could be awesome, but I don't want to risk not finding a Moonstone, so Seismitoad it is. A fairly bulky water type with only one weakness. We could do a whole lot worse. We beat our rival, get some Pokeballs, and the run officially begins. And we instantly get to increase our roster as we pick up an Axew that has the download ability, which is sick. And then we pick up a Luxray, which is unreal, and a Vibrava at the ranch. These three are actually insane. This team already has the potential to be an all-timer. And after scaring Team Plasma off, we challenge our first gym of the run, and you have probably noticed that the level cap is 14. Yeah, this is challenge mode. I just love the thrill. Sharon pulls out her Timpole and a Moltres, which is super scary, but thankfully Luxray and Seismitoad are perfect for them. And Ember does so little to Luxray, and we bring it low with a Bubble Beam, and Oko the Timpole with a Spark. And this brings out their ace, Grovyle. And to play it safe, I switch in Axew as we KO the legendary with Luxray, and then we can take down the Grovyle. Now it's a 2v1, claiming our first badge of the run. And we press straight onwards to Burgh, and we get another encounter in the complex, and I never know if the exterior and the interior count as two separate ones, but I play it safe, and inside we get a Heracross, which is huge. As you will know if you have seen my previous runs, shameless plug, this thing can easily carry. And our squad is flying, so Roxanne didn't stand a chance. Thankfully her team wasn't great. Her ace Archeops could have been scary for our Bug, but we can easily switch around and claim our second badge. We then have to do the infamous PokeStar Studios segment, but I won't show you it because I appreciate you guys too much. And as I am so selfless, the least you can do is hit that little subscribe button. And then after solving a slight domestic issue and reuniting the family, we set sail to the Big Apple. And we head straight for the gym, but we are told we must find the leader in the sewer, which is a weird request, but we do it. And when we are down there, we defeat Team Plasma before finding Burgh, but more importantly, we get a massive 3 encounters. Apom in the sewers, Ralts in the Relic Passage, and a Seal in the Castelia grass. And with our team up to the level cap and a newly evolved Curlier, we challenge the gym, and his 2 lead Pokemon are not really a threat. And this is where I develop an interesting strategy. Luxray has telepathy, so when Vibrava uses Bulldoze, it doesn't touch our electric type. We take down the Makuhita, and this reveals Wynaut, which is just horrendous to see. And they immediately do massive damage by countering our Bulldoze, bringing our Vibrava down below half, before we steal their berry with our ability and heal up. They show their final Pokemon, which is Vileplume, and I decide to focus on them, avoiding damaging the Wynaut, and we bring them low before our Luxray gets paralysed. There is a long back and forth with them healing their grass type and also eventually bringing it down, and then it happens. Heracross does massive damage with Chip Away, bringing them low, and then Curlier fails to pick up the KO with Magical Leaf, and Wynaut goes for Miracle, meaning our Psychic type gets KO'd. I bring in Seal for the Ice Shard KO, but man, that is so unfortunate. It is always Wynor or Wobbuffet. Why? We need to pick our chin up, and what better way to do that than to get some encounters? Unfortunately, they all end up being shit, but I digress. After we defeat Colress, we get a Fire Monkey in the desert, and we fail it. Oh no. We get a replacement Psychic type in the desert resort. We get Giovanni's pet outside the forest, and inside we get a Loudred. And finally, we can pick up a Walrein, which, yeah, is another bulky water type, but it's not actually a bad Pokemon. And the fourth gym leader, Eliza, usually specialises in electric type Pokemon, and she leads with 2, which is convenient as I am utilising the Bulldoze strat. And as abilities are randomised, Electric gets hit by it, so 2 turns later we can take them both down while staying healthy and burning a heal. And her final 2 mons are Apom and Basculin, which looks like a simple one on the face of it, until Basculin outspeeds and KOs our Vibrava from that range with an Aqua Tail. I can't have nice things. Losing a future Flygon is so tough, and I thought a neutral water move wouldn't KO. Thankfully, Luxray and Persian can take them down with no trouble, claiming another gym badge, but that was no bueno. I walked down the catwalk to try and boost morale, but it only made me miss them more. On our way to the next gym, our cat meets its unfortunate end as the Hitmonlee we were trying to catch KOs it. And now I will attempt to sound upset. Oh no, what a shame. Our better normal type is now evolved, but that won't help much against Clay, who leads with a Kyurem. And then Ice Beam rips Luxray to below half, but we OHKO the Ditto with a Thunderfang. I bring in Hypno, and we get paralysed on the switch as Altaria comes out. Seismitoad brings Kyurem into healing range, which is very unfortunate, but we fire off a Compound Eyes boosted Poison Gas to poison both Pokemon with Hypno. I bring in Walrein for the extra bulk now they are both on a timer, and an Aurora Beam KOs the Altaria from that range. The next turn Kyurem and their final Mon Kricketot fall, and I am chuffed at how well we handled that legendary. And with 5 badges in our case, we are forced to do the PWT section, but we press onwards and we get a load more encounters, but the more important ones are an Excadrill and another ground type, but this one is a pseudo-legendary Gabite. But Skyla is the toughest gym leader yet. She leads with a Dragon Dancing Haxorus and a Scrafty. We managed to take down the Scrafty without taking any damage, but this brings out Static Coffagrigus, which activates on our Luxray, paralysing our electric type. Haxorus fires off a Dragon Claw that brings Seismitoad deep into the yellow before we KO her Ghost type, and this brings out her download Latios. I switch both of our Mons out and Latios protects, which is huge, but Haxorus smashes our Monkey with a crit Dragon Claw and OHKOs. Oh, that is unfortunate, and it could get a whole lot worse. I bring in Hitmonlee and we immediately get smashed by a Luster Purge and somehow survive, but we miss our high jump kick, so we KO to recoil damage. This is not going our way. Excadrill comes in and Latios protects from the Rock Slide, and Haxorus survives on literally 1 HP. But Walrein does not survive the Dragon Claw and falls to the dragon. She then Hyper Potions her boosted Haxorus, and Luxray tanks a Luster Purge as Excadrill KOs the legendary with an Earthquake that also does a big chunk to Haxorus. And Luxray breaks through confusion, and a Choice Band boosted Crunch gets the KO from that range. Losing half our party was so tough, but that honestly could have gone so much worse. We catch a flight because what better way to get over a loss than to go on holiday? What is it the white girls say? Catch flights, not feelings? But the upcoming stretch is just filler, really. Garchomp evolves, which is a massive boost for our squad. And as they are dropping like flies, we pick up a Tangela and a Kingdra, which could both prove useful for our team. We make our way to Opelucid City, where we take on the 7th gym leader, Drayden, and he leads off with a Venusaur and a Metagross, which is just disgusting. And first turn, I balls up already. That's gotta be a new record. I think Hypno will OHKO Venusaur with a Psychic, so I switch Heracross out and go into Seismitoad, but we leave it below half as Metagross goes for Agility. Then next turn, Metagross brings Hypno below half with a Meteor Mash, and I go for an Aqua Ring with Amphibian, which was a mistake, as Venusaur outspeeds Hypno and OHKOs our Mon with a Petal Dance. Thankfully Hypno KO straight after, but it's still not nice. I bring in Garchomp and Excadrill, and the Meteor Mass is resisted, but they still get the attack boost. And this beast is now at +2 speed and has +1 attack. Oh, and to add insult to injury, they double into our Mole and an Aqua Tail from Floatzel KOs it. A Dig from Garchomp brings the opposing Pseudo low before Berry, and a Life Orb boosted Close Combat from Heracross gets the OHKO on their Water type. Jumpluff is his final Pokemon, thank Arceus, and I bring in Luxray expecting the Psychic move, and Garchomp's Outrage doesn't even KO the Grass type. And then it clicks to me, the best way I can see us winning is to just protect Garchomp at all costs. They heal up Jumpluff, but they fall to an Outrage / Rough Skin / Rocky Helmet combo. We do lose Luxray and Hypno in the process, but it had to be done. Heracross is now out, and it avoids the incoming attack, so Garchomp can take down the menacing Metagross and claim our 7th badge. That was horrendous, but I am so glad it's over. We take some reinforcements from the box, witness some Sub-Zero domestic terrorism, and after scaring off Team Plasma, we get sent on our way to the final gym. And to get there, we have to travel through the single coolest location in Unova, maybe even in the Pokemon universe, the Marine Tube. And we immediately take on the final gym, and this was a lovely change of pace. No Metagross in sight, just the best Pokemon ever, Arcanine. But his fire types were no match for Kingdra and Garchomp, and the two mons he had in the back were a Chinchino and Plusle. Not really a threat, but honestly, I am not complaining. After collecting our 8th badge, I press onwards and pick up an Alakazam in the Giant Chasm who goes straight into our squad before backtracking and hunting down Team Plasma's pirate ship. And in the double battle with Zinzalin, Alakazam's very short tenure on the team is cut even shorter, as it doesn't quite get OHKO'd by Electros, but its own Sandstream takes it down at the end of the turn. Brilliant. Alakazam is such a good mon as well. Tangrowth then proceeds to outlast 2 Mythicals and secure the victory, but in true evil villain style, they boot us off their ship and set sail through the skies to the Giant Chasm. We chase them down and Colress stands before us, and honestly, this battle was easy. He had no legendaries or pseudos, and our team is very well rounded. The scariest part was when Conkeldurr came out and Exploud was locked into Uproar, but thankfully, as it is so slow, we took it down before it could move. We chase down Ghetsis and he literally tries to kill us using Kyurem, but we get saved by his son and Reshiram, but this was all part of his evil scheme. He uses the DNA splices and combines the legendaries into this ultra powerful Pokemon which we have to battle, and it randomizes into Corphish. Wow, talk about anticlimactic. But we still have one final battle to scare off Team Plasma for good, and that is Ghetsis, and he has our nemesis Metagross. Oh, and this one has speed boost. Our Bug OHKOs Shiftry with a Mega Horn, and Exploud doesn't get defense drop with Crunch on their Pseudo. Our normal type survives a Hammer-On deep in the yellow, and Heracross destroys it with a Life Orb boosted Mega Horn. Thank Arceus, that could have gone so wrong. We can easily deal with his remaining Pokemon, defeating Ghetsis and Team Plasma, ridding the region of their filth once and for all. The last leg of the journey is the trek through Victory Road, which is grueling as usual, but we do pick up a Beldum who of course immediately joins the team, as we have seen what damage this Pokemon can do, and I am super duper chuffed to wield this power. And after defeating our rival for the final time, we emerge at the Pokemon League. And the final team I end up running for the Elite Four is Strawberry the Heracross, holding the life orb to do huge damage with close combats and mega horns, as well as chip away and an aerial ace for coverage. Fried Chicken the Garchomp holding the Rocky Helmet with a rough skin ability with Outrage and Dig for huge stab damage, as well as Slash and Crunch. Crisps the Metagross, our other pseudo, no speed boost unfortunately, but Meteor Mash, Zen Headbutt, Hammer Arm and Priority Bullet Punch will more than suffice. Pancake the Tangrowth with the Big Root for massive recovery from Giga Drain, as well as some coverage to partner our bulk. Bree the Choice Band Staraptor with Brave Bird and Close Combat for huge damage, as well as quick attack if we need priority. And finally, Syrup the Kingdra. Bulky and one weakness, coupled with the leftovers, Surf for spread damage and Dragon Pulse and Hydro Pump for the kill. I think this team defo has the juice to make it. Do you? There is nothing left to do other than pray to Arceus and head on inside, and I decide to take them on from left to right. So first up is Chantel. I lead with both our pseudos and her leads are fairly scary as well. And this is where I see the benefit of Drizzle on Metagross. They double into it and a super effective overheat does little in the rain, and we can respond by OHKOing the Gengar with a Zen Headbutt, and the next turn the Darmanitan falls to a Dig. Her final three mons are Raticate, Chatot and Altaria. The first two are no trouble, but the last one, that damn dragon, it goes for a Cotton Guard and we lock ourselves into Outrage that doesn't KO due to their boosted speed from Dragon Dance, and our Garchomp falls to a Dragon Breath. That is so annoying, but I will take the blame. That is all on me. At least we beat her, I guess. Now the rest of the Elite Four will be tough with only 5 mons, and Grimsley is next, and his 2 lead Pokemon both U-turn and switch into Fearow and Buffalon, which was very weird to see. I switched Tangrowth out fearing the flying move, but Metagross KOs the bird from that range. His Jumpluff is back out, but I double up into their normal type as it's the bigger threat and we get the KO. Jumpluff then U-turns yet again into the scary pseudo Hydreigon and it gets in for free as I doubled into their fish, KOing it. Kingdra avoids the dragon attack and we KO it with a Dragon Pulse and a Hammer Arm combo, and then Jumpluff stands no chance. At least that was a simpler deathless battle. Caitlyn is the penultimate Fantastic Four member and she leads with a Swords Dancing Haxorus which avoids the Meteor Mash, which is great. Oh, and her Ursaring has Moody, which is just fantastic. She heals her there, Swords Dances again and avoids the Meteor Mash. Oh man, this isn't looking good. Metagross misses a 3rd move in a row and thankfully the dragon just goes for a special move as the bear uses rest. We are 3 turns in and we have made no progress. I decide to start using Bullet Punch as it is 100% accurate, and a couple of turns later we take it down. Heracross can OHKO Ursaring from full and Kingdra whiffs a Hydro Pump. I swap to Dragon Pulse and we take down the dog, and a Zen Headbutt from our pseudo takes down her Victory Belt, and her final mon is Ditto. And this could be scary as we have 2 good Pokemon out, but thankfully we outspeed an OHKO before it can transform, defeating the Psychic Specialist. That got a bit rocky there, I'm not gonna lie. The final Elite Four member is Marshall, and he leads with Reuniclus and Shaman. We double into Reuniclus and take it down in 2 moves, and this brings out Blastoise. A Giga Drain from Tangrowth does massive damage as the starter just goes for an Iron Defense, and Shaman is still yet to use any damaging moves. We are chipping the Mythical down with Bullet Punches, but it does have leftovers for recovery, and we get it to about half as Blastoise falls to a Power Whip. Metagross takes down Shaman, and our Grass type takes down Medicham 2 turns later with a Zen Headbutt and a Giga Drain respectively. And his final mon is Fione, which gets destroyed by our Power Whip, meaning we have defeated the final member of the Elite Four and we only lost 1 Pokemon. That's not bad if you ask me. We head on up the staircase to the Hall of Champions and face down against the final trainer of the run, the champion, Iris. She leads with a Lugia, which is super scary. Oh, and a Simipour, but that's just a monkey. I double up into the legendary and the Brave Bird does huge damage, but it outspeeds our Bug, and an Aeroblast gets a crit and OHKOs our Bug, obliterating the poor thing. Oh, and it has Life Orb. She then full restores her legendary because why not, but she also tried to heal it with Simipour as his Water Absorb. I don't know if that was incredibly stupid or a huge brain play from the AI, I'll let you decide. Another Brave Bird brings it low again and a Giga Drain from Tangrowth OHKOs Simipour. She sends Swampert out, which was an interesting decision, but it protects, so only Lugia falls this turn, this time to Staraptor. Clink Clank replaces the legendary and I bring in Metagross as our grass type KOs the Swampert. She sends out another monkey, which confused me an awful lot, and it hits a huge Scald, which brings our Pseudo into the red and burns us. We OHKO with a Giga Drain, but not before Metagross falls, which could be curtains for this run. She sends out her final Pokemon, which is a Pelipper. I bring in our bird, and between Fly and Ancient Power, the bird falls, and then shortly after, we KO the Gears, defeating Iris and crowning us the new champion of the Unova region. This run was a blast. Randomizers are so fun, but I do feel we got off lightly in some battles, but we also got no super overpowered Pokemon, so I guess it balanced out. I do feel like the sheer amount of encounters mean that you are always in prime position. Even if they are not super powerful, you've always got lots of Pokemon to use as fodder. I thank every single one of you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more wacky Pokemon challenges. And if you have anything to add or a run to suggest, let me know down below. And with all that said, stay classy and have a wonderful, wonderful day.